I mean, they're stunning. Look at that sense of style. Don't you agree?
I do. I think they're very nice.
The line and the flow, the colors are so vibrant.
I'd say they look very professional.
Thank you, ladies. I would hope that they look professional since I've been a professional fashion photographer for some time. And if you will excuse a certain immodesty, a rather successful one.
I was talking about the gowns.
The clothes?
Oh. Of course.
Sorry.
Clothes.
What did you say your name was?
I didn't say it, but it's Crown. Carlo Crown. And yours?
Raven Swift, soon to be Mrs. Schuyler Whitney.
I wish you all the happiness.
Oh, dear, I do too.
Thank you, and I apologize for my remark about the pictures. It's just that my eyes go to the gowns immediately because this kind of high fashion is exactly what I'm looking for in my trousseau.
Well, if I could snap my fingers and make it appear, I'd be happy to oblige, but since that is impossible, perhaps Miss Darwin has some gowns from the collection here to show you.
Oh, dear, of course, I'd be more than happy. I have some absolutely stunning things that just arrived from Paris. Or is it Rome? Oh, I'd love to show them to you.
Oh, then do, Miss Darwin. Please do.
You seem to be giving Miss Darwin a hard time.
Oh, that's one of my favorite pastimes. But don't worry, when she adds up the bill at the end of the month, I will be forgiven completely.
She must be very forgiving.
Well, sometimes I come in here and I look at everything and I buy nothing, and sometimes I buy everything. Today, I'm going to look at everything and buy everything.
Oh, right there. That's perfect.
What?
You've just given me an idea.
I did?
Yes. You model Miss Darwin's fashions from Paris, or is it Rome, and I will take a picture of you in each one. Now, wouldn't you like that?
Mr. Crown, that's a perfectly royal idea.
Scholar. So much for the details of your wedding plans. I'm sorry, it's about the best we can do on such short notice.
Well, I do appreciate all the trouble you're going to, Geraldine.
There's something else I'd like to talk to you about, if I may, before I go.
Please.
Raven tells me you're thinking of buying the old Whitney mansion. Is that a fantasy of hers, or are you serious?
Oh, yes, I'm quite serious. Well, that house should stay in the family. It's a landmark here in Monticello. What on earth made you decide to sell it in the first place?
A ghost, Schuyler. The ghost was simply pushing me out.
You know, it's strange, but I've driven by that house several times in the past few months, and I really can't remember what it's like inside.
That's because you were never inside. The Whitney brothers, your father and my husband, had a very serious falling out. I don't even remember what it was about now. But ever since then, no one on your side of the family has ever set foot in that house again.
And here I am about to darken its door.
The pendulum swings, eh? What are you trying to do, Schuyler? Make up for the injuries of the past?
Oh, no, not at all, I assure you. Well, that house represents something solid in the family past, and I think it would be a fine foundation for its future. It'll be a wonderful house for Raven and me. I trust you don't have any objections.
No, none at all. There were many happy years spent in that house, and I hope they'll repeat themselves for you and Raven. I mean that.
Of course, this all may be somewhat premature. Although the house is on the market right now, the asking price of the current owners is, well, it's appalling. Unless they come close to meeting my offer, I want to forget the whole thing.
I certainly can't blame you for that.
Sorry, Mr. Whitney. I didn't know you had a guest.
No, not at all. And Geraldine, you know Gunther, I believe.
Yes, I do. How are you, Gunther?
I'm fine, Mrs. Saxon, thank you. Mr. Whitney, if you've got a minute, could I talk with you? I'll just wait outside.
Oh, no, that's not necessary. We can speak here.
Well, I went to see that real estate man like you told me to. And, you know about the Whitney house.
Mm-hmm. And?
Well, he talked to the owners while I was there, and they've decided to come down on the price.
By how much?
$500,000.
Excuse me, but are you saying that the owners lowered the price by that much? Their ship must have gone out. What happened?
Well, Gunther has got a positive genius at the art of gentle persuasion.
I can see that. Perhaps we should send him to Washington, D.C. He has just the qualities for a politician.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Saxon, but, you know, I don't think I would be very good at making speeches. Anything else, Mr. Whitney?
Yes, one thing. Get a hold of that broker. Have him contact the owners and say that Mr. Whitney would be delighted to accept their very kind offer.
Wow. C'est pas le parc Monceau, mais enfin, qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire? Qu'est-ce qu'elle veut, celle-là, encore?
Surprise!
I don't believe this. How did you know I was here?
Well, you certainly know how to make a guy feel welcome.
You're not. How did you find me?
Well, I got your address from the telephone company, and the rest of the information I got from your landlady.
What an idiot. I should have known. All right, Mr. Hot Detective. I would like to know why you're tracking me down like an animal.
I want to know why you suddenly changed your mind about leaving Monticello.
But that's ridiculous. I had no intention of leaving Monticello. And how could I change my mind since I wasn't going to leave in the first place?
Look, Miss Innocence, you booked a reservation to New York City. You packed a bag and headed out for the airport, and then very sudden-like, you turn around and head back to town. I want to know why.
I simply changed my mind.
Yes, but why? For what reason?
The reason is none of your business. Get out!
Look, you're never going to get me on your trail if you don't tell me where your husband is.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like hell you don't.
No, I don't. I'm telling you. And if I did, you would be the last person I would confine. Now get out of here! Get out, you hear me?
Look, I'm going to ask you one more time, nice and polite. Now, where is your husband? Where is Collier Wells? Answer
Oh,
me,
j'en ai assez, mais j'ai jamais vu un abruti pareil qui me suit partout. Mais si vous avez vu ça, c'est abruti salaud! Abruti! Get out!
You know, I had just one course in high school French, which I flunked. But I know what fear sounds like in any language. Why are you afraid, Mr. Val? Why is that?
Sourpuss stuff. You look like you're trying not to cry.
It's everything. I have a whole list.
Well, you've got a couple of sturdy characters here, so start your list from the top.
Well, first of all, it's my dancing that's very discouraging. I mean, some days I can't seem to tell a plie from third base.
Or who's on first?
Right.
What, do you expect perfection with a magic wand? And give yourself some time, sweetie. I mean, these things, they work in progressive steps, like building blocks.
She's right. You know, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. With one piece at a time, doesn't look like much, then all of a sudden you've got the whole beautiful picture. Now, that's what's going to happen to you.
Miles, I wish I could believe that, but I work so hard and I don't seem to be making any progress. And Gavin, oh, he's great for telling me I'm doing the wrong thing. And do it over again and again and again and again and one more time. And the arm floats and arch your back and do it again one more time. 5, 6, 7, 8. And if I hear 5, 6, 7, 8 one more time, I'm going to kill myself. Sometimes I hate him so much.
Just stop that. That's nonsense. Just don't pay any attention to the way he talks. I'm sure that's just his manner.
Do you know what you're forgetting, Jody? Gavin Wiley is supposed to be one of the great choreographers in the business now, right? You know what he's doing? He's creating dances just for you. Now, he's not going to do that unless he thinks he can interpret them brilliantly.
That's right. Now, you're just depressed because you're so tired and worried. What you need are a few hours of complete rest and recreation in that order.
Oh, Skylar Whitney wants the curtain to go up in about a month or so, and I'll never be ready. There's no time for rest and recreation.
Come on, make the time now. Take a couple of hours and spoil yourself rotten. Go lie down and meditate, or if you can't do that, go for a nice long walk.
Great idea.
Yeah, and when you do, stop at the nearest ice cream parlor, see, and you order the biggest, the most disgusting banana split on the menu, and you make them top it with a mound of quivering, melting marshmallow and gobs of whipped cream.
But have no nuts?
No, they're too fattening.
Doctor's orders?
Doctor's orders.
Well, in that case, I will take your advice. Besides, I'm not very good company now anyway. Come on, Muff. You want to go for a walk?
Well, we'll see you later then.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy it.
Poor thing. Wish there was something we could do to help her through all this.
Oh, she'll be all right. She's more resilient than you think. She's got enough steel in her to make it through in flying colors.
I guess you're right. But, you know, I think the real problem lies with Gavin. I mean, she needs his support and his approval above everything else, and he's just too stubborn or selfish to give it.
Yeah, well, don't worry about it. I still say I'm right. She's going to make everyone proud of her, including Gavin Wiley. Hey, baby.
What?
We got any marshmallow topping?
Anywhere from love.
Well, I think this is really very delightful. Would you care for anything? Oh, thank you. To eat home, my family, and a very delightful guest.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Carr, for making me feel so welcome.
Anyone for more coffee?
No, thank you.
I'll have some, thank you.
Nancy, I can't tell you how good Mike and I feel having you back home again. It's like Mardi Gras in Monticello.
It's in the past, Kelly. I'm not looking back.
Yeah, well, I can't help but look back. When I think about all of the wasted time, the uncertainty, the agony of not knowing, I'd say it cost everyone in this house a pretty high price.
It cost me a lot, too, Kelly.
Kelly, I'd drop it if I were you.
Mary, I'm afraid he's just feeling very dramatic tonight. All right. The time for the truth has arrived.
I'm going to clear the table.
Oh,
let me help you.
No. Didn't you know that I'm rated A #1 at doing dishes? Besides, I don't want to break up a good team. Nancy and I have it down to a fine art.
You go first.
I guess I owe you an apology. I really had no right to say what I said.
It's all right. I accept your apology.
Look, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. I just want you to understand how I feel. See, I love Nancy very much, and whenever I think about what she went through, it just makes me boil over.
You know, I understand how you feel,
We could
Kelly.
talk about something else if you'd like.
No. I want you to know that I understand your attitude, your resentment. Anyone would feel that. Quite frankly, I don't understand them.
What do you mean you don't understand them?
I don't understand the Carrs. I mean, there must be something wrong with them. After all the terrible things my father and his gang did to Mrs. Carr. And then they extend their hand to me in friendship. They invite me to their house. They offer me the warmest kind of hospitality. Mrs. Carr even helped me find a job. Now that's very peculiar, don't you think?
You know, you really have a very neat way of zinging it in there, you know that? All right, I suppose I should let some of the car's peculiarity rub off on me.
I think it's working already. You do have rather a peculiar look about you. Won't take very long.
Oh, that was very fast.
I told you, I'm the most talented kitchen help in 4 counties.
She came with impeccable recommendations.
Well, I think it's time for me to be going home. I want to thank you for a very lovely evening. Valerie, it was our pleasure. Oh, how are you getting home? Oh, well, I'll just call a cab, if I may.
Hey, wait a minute. There's no need for that, Val. I mean, I could drive you if you like.
Oh, that sounds fine. Thank you. Good night, Mr. Carr.
Good night, Valerie, and good luck in your new job.
Thank you. I may need it. Good night, dear. Good night. Thanks again. Mm-hmm. It was our pleasure.
Oh, let me get this.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Okay, I'll be right back. All right. Sorry.
Did you hear what I just heard?
I think I did.
He's going to drive her home?
I'd swear to it.
And he called her Val.
I'm sure of it.
What do you make of that?
I think, Nancy, an armistice has been declared.
Okay, hold it right there. Beautiful. Okay, now let's go for one more. Just drop the left shoulder just slightly. That is dynamite. Are you sure you've never been a professional model?
No, never. I guess I'm just natural.
Yes, you're modest, too. Quite a combination.
One of my finer points. So, how much is this one? Oh, let's see. Oh, I'll take it. Oh, how many do I have now?
Oh, that makes 21.22 altogether.
Is that all? Oh, I feel like I've tried on 1,000 dresses. I'm exhausted.
To quote a venerable English poet, Mrs. Swift, nothing succeeds like excess.
Well, how's about some cherries, Miss Swift?
Well, I would love some.
Mr. Crown, some cherries?
Oh, no, thank you, Miss Darwin. I'd rather have the flu.
Oh, dear, no, that'll never do. Well, if you'll excuse me, I'll just...
Well, it was certainly a lovely day, and I must thank you for a lot of fun.
Well, the pleasure was mine.
Oh, thank you. So when will the prints be ready?
Oh, a few days.
I can't wait to show them to Sky. I think I'll order about a dozen of each. Is that too greedy?
Not at all. You shall have as many as you like. Well, of course, we'll have to get a complete set for Mr.
Whitney.
Mr. Whitney, of course, with a nice little bill included.
Yes. As you said, nothing succeeds like excess. Hi. Anyone for a banana split?
Not allowed, and you know it. Protein, my dear, protein, not carbohydrate.
Oh, come on, just this one. Sit down, Mom.
Negative. What are you trying to do, indulge yourself again?
Yeah, I thought I might.
Well, why don't you think of something different? What are you doing here, anyway?
Well, for some dumb reason, I thought you might be glad to see me.
Well, sorry about that, but I'm not paid to be darling. I'm paid to get you into shape, and also to prepare you for the most important night of your life. And let me tell you something, my pretty maid. That night is coming up very soon.
I know that. What, don't you think that I'm half sick with worry and doubts?
Well, you got a right to be.
You got nerve. But I'll tell you something. If Muffin were a Doberman, you'd be in a lot of trouble right now because I'd sick him on you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you're the one who's in a lot of trouble, little girl. Because unless you start working harder than you have in the recent past, you're going to have trouble, all right? You're going to have trouble making it.
You really believe that I won't make it at all, don't you?
I'll tell you what I think, but in a few weeks. But I'll tell you this much right now, that if I don't think you're ready when you step out there, I'm going to say so and not let you lay a big, fat, beautiful egg. You can bet your tutu on that.
Oh, you're so smug. You're so smug and certain of my failure, aren't you? Well, go ahead. Tell me honestly. What do you think?
All right, I will. But you're not going to like it. But yeah, I think the odds are that you're going to flop. I don't think you're going to make it.
Well, I will tell you something, Gavin Wiley. If I don't make it, it'll be all your fault. You have bullied me. You have intimidated me. You've scared me half to death. You don't build. You don't create. All you do is destroy. You call yourself a choreographer. You're not a choreographer. You're a whole wrecking crew.
Jody, please, I I want you to try and understand. The only reason I'm so rough on you is because I want you to succeed. All right, maybe I've been too ruthless. Maybe I've demanded too much in the way of discipline. But I want you to be what you're meant to be. A beautiful and talented artist. I want that for you, don't you see? Would you just listen to me?
No, you listen to me. I'll tell you something, Gavin.